dairy is probably one of the most goated drinks or beverages or whatever it is of all time, because honestly, like, it goes good with everything. It goes good with like cookies, cakes, and like pastry. It's healthy, it gives you protein. What else does dairy do for you? Dairy makes you grow taller, like all these different sorts of benefits. But it's crazy at the same time because over 65% of adults can't even really consume it. And so that kind of leads me to a question: why are people lactose intolerant? Why is that a thing? Like, why can't you just be able to drink milk and just be able to enjoy all of its benefits? Well, that's something I'm going to be telling you guys about today. Okay, so a few months ago, pretty much at the beginning of this year, right now it's July, I was looking into doing a sort of 3-week challenge where I was going to eat 3 different types of diets. I'm just going to look into eating like a hunter-gatherer, eating like a pastoralist, and eating like a farmer. And one thing one of my friends that buddies helped me kind of research or help bring light to me is that there's such a thing called lactose tolerance. Now, what is lactose tolerance? Well, I'm pretty sure you guys know what lactose intolerance is, right? Most people, you've probably heard like so many people say that they are lactose intolerant. You know, basically, you drink milk and you use the stomach, you fart, you like, you know, all this types of stuff. And basically, the way I'll describe lactose tolerance is that not only do you not get those sort of how do I say it? You don't get those sort of negative effects, you don't get those disadvantages. You also get a few other advantages, primarily being able to get more protein from the dairy or from the milk that you get. What is interesting about this is that we all start off lactose tolerance as kids. Basically during like the sort of weaning period, right? Like babies drink nothing but milk, but it's sort of, you lose that ability over time. And the sort of explanation for it is that you basically have this enzyme called lactase, which is responsible for breaking down lactose, which is, I think, is like the sugar or enzyme or whatever. Oh, no, lactase is the enzyme, but lactose is like sort of the sugar or whatever the word is that is inside of milk that your body breaks down and digests. And as you grow up, as you grow older, you lose this lactase enzyme. Therefore, you sort of lose your ability to be able to digest lactose efficiently. Now, the reason why this is relevant is because in a lot of pastoral communities, you have certain genes that people have which allow them to be able to retain this lactase enzyme instead of it reducing like it does for most adults, even in their adult years. And so they're able to not only drink lactose or consume lactose and digest it with no problems, but they're also able to get more protein from it and experience a lot more benefits from just drinking milk in general. Now, sort of the funny part about this is that we were talking about different ethnic groups, and my ethnic group is supposed to be a pastoralist one, but we don't actually drink as much milk as some other pastoralist groups because the sort of range can kind of like be super like different. You would have some groups that are like only 20% dairy consuming, which is kind of like mine's 20 to 30%, versus others who are like 60, 70, 80%, which is like crazy, right? But you also have like different parts of life where you whatever, I'm coping now, but yeah, it is what it is. Now, if I was to put this in sort of practical uses, now pretty recently I did a video where I was talking about the benefits of me sort of drinking more milk, but also eating a more pastoral style diet where you basically eat more sort of like a person who's living off of animal products, which is you eat more meat and you eat more milk. And specifically I was eating a lot more beef. And what I've kind of noticed is that milk does have a lot of benefits even for someone who's likely lactose intolerant, which is me. Pretty much you still get a lot of protein from it and you're able to build lean muscle from it and scores of other benefits as well, even without having to have these lactose persistence, lactose tolerant genes. On the flip side, at least something I don't know if I've really experienced because I don't know how to measure it, you can also get more, you know what I mean, stuff like the messed up stomach, which I do receive sometimes, and also bloating and other things like that. And I only really notice anything sort of like a messed up or funny feeling stomach whenever I like overkill and just eat or consume just a lot more dairy. From a practical perspective, I think adding milk to your diet and making it sort of a regular thing, alongside with water, you can see I pretty much finished mine. It'll only really add benefits to your life unless you have anything crazy going on with your medical conditions or whatever. But pretty much if you just drink milk and water, probably more water, you'll be good. Especially if you're like me and you're sort of like into weightlifting, building, sort of muscle, whatever. A lot of protein shakes, a lot of, you know, they're based off of milk because milk is a good source of protein. But you know, you obviously have protein shakes where like they give you like, it has like extra protein. I don't know how they do it, but you have that as well. But at the same time, don't overkill it. You don't need to eat like a pastoralist, because I feel like after a certain point it can be a bit overkill. But yeah, with that being said though, that's pretty much gonna be the end of the video. And if you're interested in learning more about your lactose tolerant genes, if you're lactose persistent, lactose tolerance, there's several ways. Now, if you've taken a DNA test, I actually have a phenotype predictor that you can access. First link in my description, where it will lead you to the school community where you'll have access to like a bunch of different tools. I have a phenotype predictor that's able to screen you for all different types, all of the 4 different types of lactose tolerant genes, at least the ones that we know of right now, according to like the most recent science, which 2 of them are African, by the way, and then the other 2 are the Arabian one and the European one. So if you want to figure out if you have any of these, it's in the description. Basically what that was about is I've been lifting for about 3 years, and I know what it's like to grind endlessly while also not really knowing or having a real direction of where you're going. You just kind of know you want to build a real body but having no real aim. And so I had to really figure out how to build an aesthetic body and how the mechanics of that work. In a day and age where most people think that it's just genetics or luck or steroids, which is what gets you to that sort of 10 out of 10 aesthetic V-taper type of physique, people don't realize that it's more about discipline and the right training approach that actually gets you the results that you want. And that's why I created the school community of Ascendancy, where I share all of the things that I've learned over my past 3 years of lifting when it comes to diet, training routines, and as well as a handful of AI generated tools. One of the key tools of it being my phenotype predictor. This is a tool that takes DNA files and generates high quality reports based on your own personalized muscle genetics. And with this sort of information, we use that to build you a tailored fitness plan that will work for you long term and get you the results that you're looking for. This personalized PDF that you'll receive from this tool will give you information about your general health, muscle genetics, as well as hormonal traits and aesthetic traits as well. And even if you haven't taken a DNA test, since this community is in its early stages, I'll be able to work with you to build you a custom personalized fitness plan. We also do weekly calls to check up and do discipline, make sure that you're actually following the plan, and as well as a refund at any time if you're not happy with the services. So if that sounds interesting to you and you're really thinking about taking the next step into doing that and taking this seriously, hit that first link in the description. There you'll be taken to my about page and you can get started today. That being said, peace.